In this video, we're going to take a look at a bicycle setup for Audax. And there's no exact science here. It does vary. It all depends on your own requirements and what you may already have. The reason I want to start with this footage here is this is very typical road surfaces that we would get on an Audax. So many routes will be on back roads. And so you want to optimize your setup for these type of conditions. In my case, I will choose tires that are, at least 30 millimeters wide, which allows me to run slightly lower pressures, and that helps on these type of road surfaces. The weather here is fine. If the weather was anyways wet, I would have mud guards and so on this just for comfort. And if there was anybody following, it's just for stops spray going up in their direction as well. So this is the very, very typical road on an Audax event. And next up, we're going to take a look at a bike that I use myself that I've optimized. It's just for me, at least. I've it set up for these type of conditions. So I'm going to take a look at a bicycle set up for an Audax. Now there are randonneuring, specific bikes available, but it's complete, personal setup, what works for you. One setup that might be perfect for one person makes no sense for another. So there's no right or wrong way about setting up your bike. So I'm not going to say this is the perfect one. No, it's not. It's one of a few bikes I use. But I just want to come and talk about a few common things though. So for this bike, I've been using it for some winter spends. So it's actually a gravel bike. So firstly, I've got a full-in mud guards front and rear, and they're just common sense in the winter months, both to protect yourself and for if they happen to be if you were with others. Got lights front and back. You can use the most popular choice nowadays are good quality rechargeable lights. Rear light there. Actually, sometimes I'll have two lights on the back. This happens to be a dynamo setup, which is not common. Just set up on this one. I've got a saddle bag with my essentials for puncture repair. But in this one, I also have a top tube bag. And I would have, to be able to have snacks in here and an extra tube. Bag choices, completely up to yourself. Saddle, complete minefield. What's the right one? What's the wrong one? Up to yourself. You may need to try a few. And my bike computer and so on. This is it's a gravel bike. It's actually only got 11 gears, but it's fine for Audax routes. Disc brakes. My preference is disc on Audax routes. Especially, I just find the modulation better and better in the rain. Tire choice, another minefield, complete up to yourself. But general guidelines, you should opt for a wider tire. So the ones I've gone for here are 30mm tires. I think for me it's the sweet spot, and I pump them up to around 60 psi. So it gives a bit of comfort. These happen to be tubeless. Not going to get into that. Tubeless, whatever works. Doesn't matter. So 30mm tires. It's like the 11-speed bike, and yeah, I'm ready to go. I have on my other bike, I have aero bars. I do prefer aero bars on the longer Audax spins. They're not for everyone. You have to be super, super careful if you're with people. You do not go on aero bars if you're in a group. But if I'm solo, and on the longer ones, I do prefer having aero bars. It's just rest, gives my hands a rest. So that's it. It's not the recommended setup, but it's a decent setup for the type of routes I do, and I do routes on pretty poor roads. So my 30mm tires, gravel bikes, you're not going super fast, so you don't need the fast gears. Disc brakes. Yeah, that's just, some of the general guides or I suppose tips around So earlier we looked at some footage was recorded during the day, but I quickly wanted to show you some footage recorded at night. So this is me on my bike. I've got my light on here, which happens to be a dynamo, but it's typically the kind of brightness you would get from most cycle or bicycle lights. Up ahead, we can see other Audax cyclists who've their rear lights on. They've got high vis. They're well illuminated. That's what we want to see. And if I turn around, then I can see other cyclists coming with their front lights on. Again, you can see them coming, and I've got my high vis on there. You can just about see. That's what again what we like to see.